How's everybody doing today? Hope all is well. And I hope you're making it happen for yourself. Because that's what you got to do. Make it happen for yourself. What's going on, y'all? Uh, Today is relationship. This is the noon lunch break live where we talk about relationships uh, in the black culture, narcissism specifically for right now. We'll be on that for a while because it's big and we got a lot to unpack with it, right? I see Mika Ian says, how do you know when a narcissist tells you you are a narcissist? I don't understand the question. How do you know when a narcissist tells you you're a narcissist? I don't know. Explain that to me. How do you know when they tell you you know? I don't know. Hey, Miranda Minutes, what's going on? How you doing, baby? We talking about gaslighting today. Gaslighting is one of the tools that the narcissist uses, and I'm going to give y'all some examples. Might take me a couple days to get through this because it's a lot, and I've lived through all of these. Absolutely every one. This was the hardest for me. I couldn't figure it out. Hey, India, what's going on, India? I could not. I could not figure it out. Right? I was baffled, befuddled, didn't understand. Like, why are you like this, right? Because normal people are normal people, right? And when you get with a narcissist, there's things they do subtly until you, and then you pay attention. Like, oh, I was just watching a show. I was just watching Love After Lockup because I didn't see it this weekend. And one of the guys on there, his name is Chance, and I think her name is Taylor. One of the couples, right? And he got caught cheating, lying, everything. He was doing all the things that people do, right? Men do. And I watched him. They said, well, we're going to have a meeting so we can try to work this out. She said, okay, I'm going to hear what you got to say. Even though she had already done with him, broke up with him. Child, I watched him gaslight her. The whole conversation was cringy. I almost had to turn it off, right? But for psychological reasons, for research reasons, I watched it, right? He did exactly what they do, right? Now, I don't know if he a narcissist, but the things he was saying, he was putting everything back on her. He was cheating. He was cheating with women and men. Like, and he was like, because I heard, I was like, oh my God, it was cringy. She was crying because that's what they like to get you to do. So let me get started with this, right? So gaslighting examples. One of them is you constantly apologize, right? You always find yourself apologizing for what they did because you want to be right. You want harmony. We want harmony. When you're in a relationship with somebody, you want harmony. And as a woman, because we're softer, we do everything we can to keep the harmony. Hey, Queen, we try to do everything we can to keep the harmony, even to our own detriment of our feelings, right? So gaslighters tend to shift the blame onto you, even when they're in the wrong. So you're constantly apologizing when they're wrong. It's a mind thing, y'all, right? Despite being treated poorly, you are constantly working to gain your gaslighter's acceptance. And I did that. When I tell y'all I did that probably the first 5 years, probably the first 5 years. Hey, Nick, probably the first 5 years I did that. I wanted to be everything he needed me to be, right? Uh, that's what it was. I wanted to be everything. I wanted him to accept me and receive me. Listen, what I have realized, right? I got to fight this hard for you to accept me. I ain't got no business with you. The acceptance starts in the beginning anyway, right? I ain't had no business with you if I got to fight to have you. If I got to fight for you. If I got to fight you for you, I ain't got no business with you, right? Um, and then you're always second guessing yourself. Like, did I do this right? What did I do wrong? How can I be better? That was my thing. I always was thinking, how could I be better? When I think back, listen, y'all, when I think back on some of that shit, I'm disgusted with myself, right? But it was all because I thought this was going to be my last relationship of my life. We was going to go dun, 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 and we was going to grow and prosper. This is it. He the one, right? Child, I get so sick of myself when I when I think back on some of the things. I'm like, that ain't you, Jackie. But it was. It was all for this because I wanted to be finally in a relationship that was going to last forever, right? Make it last forever. Another thing that they do, and this is, for no reason. Mine would lie for no reason. They blatantly lie. Mine would lie for no reason. He'd look right out there and say, "Ooh, the sky green today," and try to convince you that it is. Just stupid, stupid stuff, right? They tell blatant lies. They deny they ever said something. This is the part that used to make me crazy. Like, we've had full discussions about this. And I know you can think and I know you can remember because I can tell you something and then days later you have it, right? So I know that you remember what we're talking about, right? Hey, Kay, for your 12:30 meeting, okay. We're talking about gaslighting examples. We probably talk about this for a few days, right? Because it's a lot of them. The blatant lies, right? They blatant lies. They use what is near and dear to you as ammunition, right? The abuser tells outright lies, making the victim doubt their own understanding of the truth. You start thinking like, did I? Is it? What? Huh? I'm telling you, it's a whole crazy cycle that you're in your head. And if you're not on your P's and Q's, narcissist will do you in. He'll do you in. You know, I know somebody now that's still trying to, because it's a true recovery. Not so much for me, I guess, because I was older and stronger, but it's a true recovery from that. It is. It is. A gaslighter will use lying in order to establish power and control by positioning their grasp on reality as superior. Now that's big right there. In order to establish power and control by positioning their grasp on reality as superior to whatever you thinking. That what they thinking and saying, and you know, but they want you to think what they know. And when you already know what you know, right? That's what they do, child. You know your partner is telling a lie, but they are saying it with a straight face. Listen, I would have receipts, right? I never forgot when I found a picture of him with somebody that had cheated with or was about to or tried to or whatever, right? Now, he told me, and he still today, if I ask him, he would probably tell that same lie. The picture, the sweater that he had on in the picture, I bought him. I bought him for Christmas, right? One Christmas. He told me when I found that picture that picture would happen before me. Now, I know that I bought the sweater. I know that I bought the sweater, right? But he told me with a straight face, no shifting, no eyes, no nothing, that happened before me. And a few times that I brought it up, he continued to say, that was before I met you. Not only that, but he had a lot of pictures of women. He was a single man when I got with him. He had lots and lots of pictures with women. I've seen all of the pictures more than once. He kept them in the same place. Never saw this picture. And you don't want to know why I never saw that picture? And why I would have remembered that picture? Because it was my cousin. I would have remembered that picture. I'd be like, oh, you know my cousin? What? Shut up. How you meet up? He tried to convince me that happened before he met me, even though I bought the sweater. I bought the sweater. Okay? Yeah, my cousin. That's a whole story. That'll be in the third book. Yeah, that's a whole thing, y'all. It's a whole thing. And I forgot about it, like, because I forgets about it, right? So when I be reading the stuff about narcissism or talking about narcissism, how they try to separate you from your friends and family, I didn't even think about that because I was like, no, he didn't really try to do that, but he did. He did in a big way because we were close, right? Now, did she come on to him or he come on to her? Not sure. Could have been mutual, right? Because I know her, I know him. But our kids, what was more hurtful to me, it wasn't, because I was still with him when that happened, but the deception and the lies from her part was what hurt it, right? But also the fact that our kids were so close and still are. You can try to destroy a family. I remember having that conversation with him. So I got to go back on what I said, that he didn't ever try to separate me from my friends and family, because he did. Forgot that one, because it's so big, I put it out my head, right? It's so big, I put it out my head. But he did. And the closest, that was like the closest person to me besides my sisters. Okay? She was like a sister. All right? Where is it go? Where am I at? Okay. So, isolation. Right? They make you question, they want you to be isolated. Now, let me tell y'all something. As strong as I am, I was manipulated to be isolated. I was isolated, but I was happy. I was in my new house and I was happy. I didn't have to work. I was happy. I was I was doing what I needed to do in the house, right? I didn't care about outside. But with that, he knew exactly where I was at all times. Not that it was a big deal to me at the time, but when I think back on it, I self-isolated, and I wouldn't even consider I just like enjoying being in my house. I like being in my house, right? I got to be out there with the hustle and bustle. I got to do all that stuff, right? But it's they like that. They like to know where you are. Uh, and they say that they're putting you in isolation to only for you to only trust them, right? Many gaslighters make efforts to isolate victims from friends. That's what they do. They do that all the time, right? They want you, and I think the younger the narcissist, the better they can do that. Because when you're older, and you know yourself. It's just some stuff you just stand on. You just naturally stand on, right? Uh, hold on, wait a minute. Yeah, you just naturally, it's just some stuff you naturally do, right? Uh, withholding. Withholding is when a gaslighter pretends they don't understand the reason for a conversation or refuses to talk. Now, I didn't know this had a name, but my ex was good at that. I told you he would squirm around and tort his face up. He was uncomfortable, so he would withhold. The only time I believe he was really very honest with me was one time when I was through with him. This was one time that I was through with him. I was definitely through with him, right? And I told y'all I was praying and I was asking God, because his family would tell me things he don't know that they would tell me, and I was like, oh, maybe he really do love me, all that girly shit, right? And I was praying to God to give me the sign, and I've said this several times. And when He gave me the sign, as I was in prayer, before I could say Amen, He was knocking at my door. I took that as the sign. So there was a lot of reasons why I stayed with him so long, because I thought God had put this man here, and it was to teach me a lesson or some shit, right? So anyway, that day when he came, I wanted to know, and I don't know why we do this as women, because I just watched this girl do it on the show I was telling you about. She wanted to know everybody he cheated with and all the situations and all the circumstances. It's gonna hurt your own feelings, right? Um, I wanted to know everything about who it was and why you did and such and such. And he sat out, and maybe to the best of my understanding, I think he was truthful, maybe part of the way truth, now that I know he's a narcissist. But at that time, I thought he was telling me the truth. I thought he was telling me the truth, you know. Now that I know he's a narcissist, he probably left out a lot of shit and probably lied and added and subtracted, Um, uh, they say gaslighting may particularly be more common in the workplace. So I guess if you're working with narcissists or for a narcissist, right, they withhold information from you. Through withholding, the gaslighter may refuse to engage in a conversation or pretend not to understand what you're saying. My ex was good at that. He didn't have no understanding, or, blow you off, like that. What you saying is not important, all of that, right? He did all of that. I'm telling you, once I started my journey of understanding narcissism and what it was, I didn't cry or nothing like that, but it was shattering to know that I was in this situation. And that's why I feel the need to talk about it, to enlighten someone else who may be in that, right? And according to my shorts, people leave comments all the time about their life with a narcissist, or if they with them now. So, I feel compelled to share, right? And enlighten. You know what I'm saying? Because it's somebody out there that could benefit from this, and if nothing but to look it up for themselves and see if they is or if they isn't. Because a lot of people have these traits. That don't mean they're a narcissist, though. They could just be a liar. Some people just liars. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel the need to take up this charge, right? And from time to time, I'll get a negative comment, like, from somebody, and for the most part, I ignore it. Because people will always try to throw you off the track, right? The devil is always busy, but I think it's important that folks know. Now, another example of gaslighting is denial. Denying absolute, not absolute, what's the word? Obvious truth, right? They'll deny certain events or conversations. They gonna try to erase your memory. Again, a narcissist will try to erase your memory so that it'll fit into what they need you to think, right? Hey, Lisa Marie, they will try to erase your memory, literally, right? They're really good. If you're weak, and I ain't gonna say weak because I don't want to use that word because shit happens, but if, for lack of a better word, they'll have total mind control over you because they'll make you think what they want you to think just by lying and withholding and denying what you saw or what you know to be true. They'll deny it and keep on with a straight face. That's the creepy part. That's the crazy part of it all. There's no body language to the lie, right? There's no body language for most of the time, except for you may see uncomfortability, but there's really no. You just lie with a straight face, right? And then I remember one time, once I got to know him, I just thought he was a pathological liar, just sick with it, right? And I said, well, now why would you tell that lie? And he looked me right in my face and said, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I just thought he was just a liar, just a liar, right? This is another one. This would have you messed up, and it had me messed up because I am, again, something that I didn't know that I was. My aunt used to say, a couple of my aunts knew that I was sensitive, crybaby-ish, and one of my aunts would say, you wear your feelings on your sleeve, right? I know now that I'm empath, right? I feel people's emotions. I be feeling sorry. I feel their emotions, whether it's happy or sad, but, I feel their emotions, right? And he was good at invalidating my emotions. Now, that's rough for a person who is emotional. Somebody like myself who is emotional and feels everything, good or bad, and you invalidate it. I remember one time we was around a group of people, right? We was at a convention, right? And there was a lot of people there. And I knew some of those people, but not that good. And I wanted to be with my man, right? He would always make me feel alone without being settings like that. He would always, now that I look back on it, he was doing his best to make me feel alone. How do you feel alone when you're around hundreds of people? But he would do his best to make me feel alone. Why did I stay with him so long? It was a number of reasons why, right? Had I known what I know now, I wouldn't have stayed. Had I known he was really a sick individual, which I knew he was, but it was something that he was textbook, I wouldn't have stayed. Because it could be damaging to your psyche dealing with these people, right? Um, Gaslighters make comments that insinuate that others are always wrong. How long did you stay? 10 years, 10 plus. And the plus is, even until I didn't deal, it wasn't sexual or nothing like that, but if I need something, I could call on him. He would call me. He called me the other day. We didn't talk. That's why I say the plus, because even after he was out of the house and we were no longer together, I still accepted money from him, and we would talk. We would talk from time to time, right? It would be good conversation. Let me tell y'all something that I just thought about. We would talk when I moved here, especially, right? The first year I was here, we would talk and we would just laugh and giggle, ha 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 ha, right? And then it turned into when I would hang up, I would get sad. I didn't know what that was, right? I went through a host of emotions with this man, more than anybody in my entire life. And I would get sad. And that happened 2, 3, 4 times. I was like, why is that? What is that about, right? And then I said, well, maybe it's the sadness comes from what could have been, because it started off so well, or so I thought in my head, right? And what could have been, what we could have been. So I started harping on that. Yeah, I was sad because of what could have been, what we could have been, right? And then we talk a few more times, and then I realized I can't talk to him. You fucking with my emotions, right? I can't. And I told him, I said, we can't talk. And I blocked him, right? Well, he remains blocked. Only reason why he called me the other day because he came up called me from a different number. But I said I can't. And then to be petty and mean, I would unblock him, because we have the same friends. One of my girlfriends would say he said this or he want to do this. I'd unblock him for that purpose. So they constantly stay in your life. That's a no. Now that I know what I know, that's a no, right? That's a definite no. Yeah, they always want you to be wrong in your emotions. Like, why you like that? Why you doing that? I remember when I took my son. Again, it's subtle things that you don't really notice when you put, until you put it all together, right? I had took my son to school. I had bought a van, packed it all up, make sure he got everything he needed. It's the last one, right? And drove him to college. And I had what you call that, empty nest. I had empty nest, right? Never experienced this. Was another emotion I had never experienced before. And I cried on the way home. I didn't let my son see me cry. I left. As soon as I got him in, we got him unpacked, we left. My son said I was supposed to stay and hang around, but I was so emotional, right? I left immediately. As soon as we got all the stuff in, I left. And he told me a few years later that that hurt his feelings. He wanted me to stay. The parents were staying and go out to dinner. And I didn't think, I couldn't think that like that because I was emotional and I didn't want my child to see me crying, right? So as soon as we got in the van, I cried all the way home. Hours. He went to school in Dayton, we in Cleveland. I cried for hours, right? And every day for about 2 or 3 weeks, I cried. And he would come in the house and be like, "You still crying?" Not one time did he ever put his arm around me and say, "It's going to be okay. He a young man, da 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 da," whatever your man's supposed to say to comfort you. He never gave me that. Never gave me that, right? So it's like, what you crying for? And I never forget, he walked in that door and looked at me and said, "You still crying?" Yes, nigga, I'm still crying, right? That was empty nest. I had never had that. Yeah, me too. It's very freeing. Me too. Me too. Right. Another thing that they do is shift blame. They shift blame. Right. All of these seem like the same, but they're different and they're intricate. Right. Um, like I told you, they'll deny an event that happened, and you clearly know that it happened, or they'll say you did this way early before we even got the house. The first breakup. This was the first. I don't want you no more. We done broke up, right? And he came back and knocked on my door. And when I opened the door, he said, "You did this to me." Now, as a woman, I'm thinking, shit, that nigga can't leave me. But really, it's deeper than that, right? He said, "You did this to me. You did this to me." Right? Put the blame right on me, the reason why he wanted to come back and be with me. He was never in tune to his emotions, right? Like, shit, I like you, Jackie. I love you, Jackie, whatever it is. Couldn't do that. Couldn't do that, right? Um, let's see what it says. Shifting, blame shifting is they express doubts to others about your feelings, and they do express doubts to others about your feelings, behavior, and state of mind, twisting or retelling the events to shift blame to you. I never forget one time, one of his closest friends, he would come over every day. This was his boy, right? They would go do whatever they doing, right? And when I was hurt, I'll never do this again. I was hurt. This was heartbreak. Where is he at? Why he don't want to be with me? And I told it to his friend because I thought we were friends, right? And he looked me right in my face and said, "Maybe he don't like you." And he said something else that I know he only got from him. And I was like, "Well, why would you tell him that? And why did he feel comfortable saying it back to me to hurt my feelings, right?" And when I realized this hurt me, it hurt me because I was like, "You told him that," and then he had the nerve to say it back to me. What I realized years later was that this particular friend was jealous of our relationship, right? Because we look good to the outside world. He was jealous of our relationship. And how do I know he was jealous of our relationship? When I finally met his wife. Listen to me now. When I finally met his wife, she was a big, fat, unattractive white woman. He talked about her all the time. I was like, "Oh, she cool," you know. He always talked about her, but I had never seen her. She was a big, fat, unattractive, pale-looking white woman. Hmm. So now I understands why you didn't want us together, why you was a little jealous of your friend who had got a good girl. Okay? Beware of folks, right? What they say and what they don't say. That's what you got to pay attention to, right? All dogs hang together. Yep. And never know what someone's motives are. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, yep, yep. So they shift blame. He always was shifting. Nothing was ever his fault. Nothing was ever his fault. I'm like, shit, you perfect. You're perfect. And even if you did catch him downright, just downright catch him, he would say something stupid like, "Oh, don't worry about that. That ain't nothing." You know, he would minimize it. Minimize it, which is coincidentally, the next thing that narcissists do. Trivializing is one of the more common forms of gaslighting, and it happens in many relationships. The abusive partner makes the victim's needs or feelings seem unimportant. That's a fact. I feel like this, if you're in a relationship with a man, his job, just like your job, this goes both ways. His job is to feel, um, make you feel comfortable, wanted, needed. All your emotional needs should be supplied, should be through him, right? All of them. Oh, the UPS guy. All of your emotional needs should be, he should fulfill all your emotional needs. That's what I'm trying to say. He should fulfill all of your emotional needs. You should not have to seek that from any outside forces, and vice versa. He shouldn't have to seek that from outside forces either, right? But it was always trivial. Anything I did was trivial. I'm doing big things, but he always minimized it. Always minimized it. Always minimized it. Never said, after the initial love bombing phase, he never said, good job, I'm proud of you, you the ish. Never did that, right? Uh, Turning people against the victim. Now, like I told you, I didn't think that he had did that, but now I know he did it to a couple of choice people, and the people that had really became my friends, like there are a couple of people that one of my good bestest sisters was his friend first. They're still friends now, but he was his friend first, right? He tried his best to initially for me not to like her and not to get to know her, right? Because she was a genuine person. He didn't want me to know that. He didn't want me to know that. Hey, Lorraine! He didn't want me to know that, right? We were good friends. That's probably one of my bestest friends right now, right? And but what he tried to do was, and I don't know from her end, but from my end, he tried to make her the enemy at first until he realized that that wasn't gonna happen, and he went with it. But he tried to make her the enemy, in my eyesight, right? Matter of fact, he had a group of friends. He had two different groups of friends. He had friends that he gambled with, and he had friends that other set of friends, right? And the friends that he gambled with, he tried his best for me not to really know them people, for them not to really know me, right? But it didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't work. And when he would fall out with them, he would want me to fall out with them. They cool with me, because a lot of them, they bought stuff from me. They were my customers as well as people that I know, right? And like I said, one of them turned out to be my best friend. I can call her right now. That's my sis, right? But he did try that, and I didn't think about that at first until I started reading this stuff. I didn't think about that at first, um, but he did. He did. He did. He most definitely did try to turn people. They say causes people to turning the people against you causes people to lose their sense of identity, perception, their work. It really definitely changes your perception, right? Or try to, because you be thinking like, did that? What? He did say that. We did do that. You always second guessing yourself, right? Which is a psychological game within itself, right? Uh, so people have usually developed a relationship and earned a degree of trust, respect, or authority. This is what the narcissist does. They have developed they've earned your trust and respect and authority. Then they start playing with you. Then it becomes a mind fuck. And once I realized that, I was like, oh, nigga, gay, it's on now. But had been years into it, right? Um, yeah, I had been years into it, but because I'm petty, shit, we gonna play the game together. We gonna play together. I remember one time I told him, I said, I'm gonna psychologically damage you, right? This was towards the end. He said, shit, you already did, right? I believe I was the one female that had defeated him in what he was trying to do. It didn't work, right? And he kept trying, even after we broke up. Like I told you, he called me the other day. I don't know what he thought he was gonna say. Um, they use these tactics to gain power and control, like we know. That's what they want to do. They want power and control. And I used to always think, like, I'm a strong woman. Why would a lot of men have done this to me, right? It's the idea of they want to break you. Once they have broken you, then they're satisfied. Why would you want to be with somebody that you want to break and you want to see them down and crying and sad and miserable? Why is that the goal? Anybody that's trying to do that is sick anyway. But that was the goal. That was the goal, to break me. I realized that. His goal was to break me so that I could be He could do me how he wanted to do me, right? With no regard, because what I realized was the goal was to break me, right? Because I watched the person that he got with after me, right? She was a zero, just straight garbage, right? And I ain't saying that, I ain't hating, I ain't mad, none of that shit. All be in my book. She's a straight zero, right? But he kept dealing with her because that made him feel good. Her being broken, she was already broken when he got with her. I'm sure he broken her even more. Her being broken until she, you know what, they were still together until she stole some money from him. And from what I hear, he didn't tell me this. This is what I hear. Uh, I think a family member, somebody told me this, that no, she stole a big lump of money, some kind of way through the bank or something, right? Um, he would probably still be with her. He might still be, I don't know, but I know he wasn't. But the goal is to break you so they can have full and total control. You just a puppet. They the puppeteer and you the puppet. And I don't know how he thought that was going to ever be me. I don't know how. I guess I was a challenge. I was probably a challenge to him, right? To see if he could. This is another one. You're too sensitive, right? Which I am sensitive, right? But you have to know me to know that. Uh, and this is again how they just minimize your feelings and shut you down. They shut you down. They shut you down with whatever they saying to you, right? Uh, and they always tell you that you're too sensitive. I always tell you that. And you don't know what you're talking about, and that ain't what it is. Oh, that's in there. And you know what would get me was I could see, if this is, for most women, you can see who your mates' real friends are. Because you can see something that they're not seeing. It's always, you can always see when you're on the outside, right? And I would tell him things. And he wouldn't. He just didn't. He wouldn't go with it, right? And then later on, when it was deemed to be true, he would never say, you was right, or guess what, But I would find it out, right? But he would never validate nothing I had to say. That used to irk my nerves. Nephew, that's good. That's good, nephew. That used to work my nerves. I'll see you at 8. You gonna be able to make it at 8? They used to work because we got to talk about our shows tonight. That used to irk my nerves. Really, it did, right? Like, I don't understand. I'm your partner. I am your partner. I have your best interest. Why do you think not? Why would you not listen to what I'm saying? Why? Right? Uh, Countering. Let's see what countering is. Countering is when they confront your memories or accusations with a denial. Same thing like all the other things they do. But they want to confront you with it. They standing on business on it, right? They firm. They firm on, okay. They firm on what they saying. They want to make you believe. Like if I be like, I'm not ignoring you, I'm ignoring you, and I ain't believe, you can't make me believe that. Then that's when the confrontation happens, and that's when the argument happens, which we did a lot towards the end. That's the arguments all the time, all the time, all the time, because he's confronting me. He's dead in my face with whatever he's talking about, right? Uh, it's always, it would be like a cycle of bullshit, right? Like, you ain't never happy. You ain't never satisfied. I can't never do enough. I am not enough for you. And then what really hurtful is, hey, boss lady, I ain't seen you in a while. What really happens is when you see who they pick after you. Now, you done told me I wasn't this, and that. And that's what you get? She ain't none of that. She negative, right? I'm telling y'all, this was the craziest cycle of shit I ever been in my life, right? Had I known what it was, I'd have been broke up out of there, but I just had no idea. I had no idea. I'm just thinking this was just old crazy Negro, right? Just old stupid Negro. Because, he appeared to be very intelligent, right? But in reality, he was not. He was an unintelligent, insecure individual. And he brought all that garbage to me. He brought a bag of garbage to me, right? And I had to filter through it and, dig around. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, all that love bombing was to cover up for his insecurities and shortcomings. I now know that, right? I now know that. I feel sorry for, like, I know somebody personally who cannot recover from the narcissistic individual that they were with and had children by. I've been trying to think of ways to approach and have a candid conversation, but they're not that receptive. Because it took me, I realized that's the problem with them. That is their problem, that narcissistic relationship that they was in. They're hurt. They're not sure of themselves. So they put a lot of doubt on you. If you're not strong in who you are, they put a lot of doubt on you, and you can't. It's hard. I'm watching somebody that cannot regain their strength, and that's hard. Hey, BR. I'm watching somebody that cannot regain their strength, and it's hard. It's somebody that I love, right? I don't know how to, you know, navigate that. Sometimes our mere existence emasculates them. That is true. That is true, and that's what happened. That's why they date down after you. Yeah, that is true. Because I've been told, like I used to, not on purpose, but I know that I can emasculate a man. But now that I'm aware of it and older and wiser and more evolved, I try not to do that, right? But like you just said, just my mere presence. And I've been talking to guys, especially lately, and they be like, "Oh, I know who you is," or they'll say shit like, "I ain't scared of you. I ain't want you to. Who said I want you to be scared of me? Why would I want you to be scared of me?" I've had a lot of guys say that to me without us having no conversation about it. They just break out and say that. I ain't scared of you. So my strength. So if I was a dude and I would want a strong woman, right? A lot of guys, especially when I was younger, like I want a strong woman, but when they get me, it's like, oh no, this ain't what I want, right? This ain't what I signed up for. Uh, no, I'm a Pisces. I'm a Pisces. I'm just sensitive. I'm sensitive as shit, and people don't know it unless they know me, right? I'm telling y'all, this is my YouTube because my YouTube channel has allowed me to open up about who I am and the experiences I've had that made me what I am today, right? I never would have the stuff I say to y'all. I never would have said to anyone. I never would have done that, right? Just hold all that shit in. But I'm very sensitive, very sensitive. So much so, somebody could say something to me, and I take it all the wrong way because I'm so damn sensitive, right? Uh, I don't like that about myself, but that's what it is, right? But on the same token, I'm an empath, right? Which I didn't know that until a few couple of years ago, and I've been learning about empaths. And narcissists they seek out and they can tell when you're an empath. That's why the shit was so crucial to me because narcissists, and I'm gonna talk about that later on about narcissists and empaths. Like this is all stuff I've been reading on what the experts say. That's why he connected with me because I am an empath, right? I am an empath. They soul suckers, right? They seek and come to destroy, like the devil. They're devils. They're demonic. We're gonna talk about that later on. But when I would talk with him, because I'm a very spiritual person, I was going to church, I was praying all the time and doing all that stuff and living my life as right as I could. And I realized, shit, you a demon, you a monster, nigga, you's a demon. And I would tell him that, he was like, don't call me that, I ain't the devil, but he was. And then once I started researching it, that's what they say. The experts say that they're demonic. That's why they don't have no medicine for them. That's my belief why they don't have no medicine. And you can't cure that shit. You can't take a pill and the devil go away. Devil turn out, don't be a devil. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It was real. Like I said, the person that I love very, very deeply, I'm trying to figure out a way to help them because they need therapy. And they need to recover from that hurt and pain. I guess I've been in hurt and pain so much that shit is just pray and shake it off and keep going. But everybody don't have a keep going spirit. Everybody don't have a keep going spirit. And so uh, they're mad at the world and they sulking and sitting in that misery, right? You can't do that with nothing. And shit gonna happen, life gonna life, right? Life coming, circumstances coming, situations coming, right? You have to learn, which is why I'm learning about narcissism. I'm learning about myself so I don't repeat this shit, right? Um, you have to first want to be better. That's number one. And then in order to be better, you got to take it to God. Or whatever you believe in. Whatever you believe in, right? If it's Buddha, if it's, I don't know what the Jews believe, whatever it is, Allah, whatever it is, you got to, Buddha, whatever it is, you got to take it to that entity and release it and let it go and pray for your healing and your strength, right? And for me, when somebody that's dear to me hurt, I hurt, right? because I'm an empath, right? Like I really hate that shit, but it affects me. So a lot of times when people are calling me about certain situations, which I'm used to, and I'll be like, "Well, do this, do that, or let's pray, or cry with them, or whatever." Go when I was younger, let's go beat them up, right? But it becomes a lot. It becomes a lot because when you're an empath, people will literally suck the life out of you. Literally suck the life out of you, right? And so I'm not quite ready to deal with that situation because I need to get on a good footing myself, right? Um, then I'll be able to help them with their situation. You know what I'm saying? If they allow me. That's the thing. When people think they know everything, it always amazes me. Like, I always respected elders, right? I always respected somebody elder because they done been here and did that. They done been there, done that. And if they ain't did it, they done seen it. They know how to get out of it. So I respect anybody older than me who's lived life longer than me. But people these days don't respect you. They don't think you didn't live. You didn't think that before. And you done lived a little longer than them, and you might know a little bit more than them, right? This generation, I don't know what they call it. They X, Z, Y, I don't know what they call it, but they don't seem to think so, right? Um, so difficulty making decisions, right? Let's see what they say. Gaslighting cuts down your self-esteem. Yes, it does. Now, it didn't do that to me. It didn't do that to me, but I would tell him all the time. I told him for years, unless a woman, you have her self-esteem. Unless a woman, you'd have her. And I guess I was a challenge to see if he could break me now. What was going to happen when he finally broke me out, and I don't know. But they lowers the self-esteem for sure. And that person I'm telling you about, their self-esteem is low. It is low. They won't admit to it, but it is. Because if your self-esteem ain't low, your confidence would be built up and you can go face the world. You need confidence to go out there and face the world. So if you don't have the confidence to go out there and face the world, then your self-esteem is low. Oh, no, many people let one or two disappointments shut them down. Yeah, for far too long. Many people don't have a faith system. Absolutely. Many guys are even good male friendships. Yeah, they don't. You got to have, I have friends who are not as, and a lot of times people can't receive a lot of things from me because they know who I was and what I've been through and what I've been doing. Not my childhood, but they just know I've been in the streets, right? So, but what they didn't know was that I always believed in God and I always went to church, right? I was like an oxymoron. You know what I'm saying? On Monday through Saturday, I'm this, and Sunday, I'm sitting up in church praising the Lord because I was trying to get better, right? And a lot of people can't really receive what I'm saying initially at first until they saw the change and the growth and the evolution of me, right? Because of what I was and where I've been. Do you think at some point you got caught up in the get back with it? I did for a minute. He wanted to beat them at the. I did, and I did beat him at his own game. I did. I absolutely did. I absolutely did. And all that's gonna be in my book. I absolutely got caught up in the get back. Sure, I did. Yes, absolutely. And I got him back. But I did. I was caught up in the get back. I took pride. It was thrilling, not pride. It was thrilling to get him back, and he didn't know he was getting get back. Now that's crazy on my part, but I did. Uh, uh. Yeah, I did. I let him. I was in it for a while because I'm gonna get this nigga back, and I would sit back and watch, and watch me get back. Right now, what I've learned since I'm not in the house, we're not in a relationship together, is that, and this is for anybody, is that you don't have to do no get back. Took me years to realize. Just realized it at my big age, shit, a few years ago. You don't have to do no get back. I've always heard this all my life, but I'm gonna get that nigga back. No, I'm gonna get her back. I'm gonna get my lick back. You don't have to do no get back. God will handle that. You should sit back and watch it happen. Might not happen right away, but it's gonna happen. In my case, a lot of times people have wronged me. They immediately get the karma. Immediately, right? I have a friend right now that did some fuck shit to me, right? But I liked her. Now that's just who I am. I like folks, right? I like to laugh and giggle with her and all like that. And she did some shit to me and immediately got to get back. Immediately, right? I don't know if I want to say it because they watch from time to time, but they got it right back. Now, I wonder, do they realize that's the karma from me? Maybe I'm wrong, but I like to think that was the karma from me, right? Because they did some really, really wrong really, really wrong, fucked up shit, right? Really, really wrong. And I've seen about 4 people that were close. Because I'm your friend, right? And do me wrong to make sure I hurt and to make sure I had a downfall or to make sure it hurted me purposely. And I watched them get what they were supposed to get. I had nothing. I stepped back like this. Just let God be God, right? But at that time with him, yeah, I was on some get back shit. Sure was. Enjoyed it. I ain't gonna lie to you. Enjoyed it. But you don't have to do that. I know that now. You ain't gotta do that. You ain't gotta do that. Because God got you. He got you. He got your back, right? You stay down with him, he down with you. Yeah. And me talking about this, I'm thinking about that person that can't get up out of it. Even though they're not with that person. So what I do know this, y'all, about narcissists, you cannot have a relationship with them. And especially if they hurt you and you still sitting in that hurt. Like the person I'm telling you about, they still hurt and messed up behind that. And so a lot of times when you're in a relationship with a narcissist or you didn't have kids or whatever the situation may be, people like to think you have to be in a relationship for the kids. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. You set up something else and you don't even have to deal with that person. Because they're going to always be, and you're not going to be thinking about it because you're not an evil person. They're going to always be thinking of a way to hurt you. They're going to always be thinking of a way to hurt you and bring you down or break you. They're not satisfied to you in pieces, right? Because this person, I know they already broken. And the other person that's hurt them ain't going to be satisfied that they in pieces. And I have to tell them that, but they got to understand me and listen to me to understand what it is, right? And that I have their best interests at heart. And I don't know if they're ready for that. And quite frankly, I don't know if I'm ready to take on that because it's draining. When you take on other people's problems and try to help them, it's very draining. And I ain't ready. I'm trying to get me together, right? It's very draining, So this is another thing. Wait a minute. Hold on. I lost my spot. Okay, I did that. Countering. Yeah, the countering is when they just get in your face and want you to make you believe what they saying, right? And that's like I said, that's what me and my ex would butt heads. We butt heads so cause I would be like, now what we arguing for now? Like, damn, you always want to argue. I'm a happy-go-lucky person. I don't want to keep arguing with your ass. And it got to the point where I just stopped talking. You just ain't gonna talk. If I don't talk, you can't argue, right? Psychological projection. Okay, what you just said. That's what you just said. Who said that, boss lady? It says the abuser projects their behavior onto the victim. So then you turn into them, right? You turn into them, which I had until I caught myself. You turn into them. You start doing dumb shit like them, trying to get back at them. You ain't got to do that. Here it go. Where it go? Wait a minute, hold on. They gradually wear you down. I lost my place. They gradually wear you down, right? Which is what my ex was hoping out of me. Wait a minute, where I just saw that. I just lost it. This is another thing they was doing. I was just joking. So they'll say some shit to you and be like, no, I was just playing. When they was really serious, right? They often downplay their mean-spirited comments or criticism. This can cause you to wonder. So it says gaslighters, excuse me, in general, the mental, physical, and emotional can be so devious, and their abuse is so subtle, right? They're devious. They're devious creatures, right? They're devious creatures. They're devious creatures. Hold on. So your instincts are telling you otherwise, but you may second guess yourself enough to give in and go along with your partner. Right? You give in. But they're just master manipulators, y'all. Ain't no other way to put that. There's no other way to put that. They're just master manipulators. And they have all kind of techniques that they do. And and their goal is to to wear you down, right? So they can have power over you. I don't want power over an individual. I don't. I want to be treated right, but I don't want to have power over you. I don't want to be the puppeteer of you, right? Uh, it says a gaslighter does their work gradually. A lie here, a rude comment there, ignore you here. It's all like I told y'all before, and I knew this, but I'm reading it. It just and every time I read it, even though I've read it before, every time I read it, it just be like amazing, like you got out of that because it's subtle. It ain't like because nobody gets with somebody that's blatantly mean and blatantly lie. It's subtle. Everything is subtle. It's subtly done to get you to engage in dysfunctional behavior. Yeah, is a sense of control. It is. I'm telling you, my house had got so chaotic, right? I'm like, how did we get here? That's what made me stop even talking to him. We're just not going to talk no more. I'm just not going to talk to you no more. Many of these narcissists were hurt by the first woman in their life. Yeah, I talked about that. Where I think my ex, where his come from. Then they go through life trying to have relationships with women, projecting their deep-rooted hurt in anger onto the current woman. So is that OM or QM? QM, let me tell you this. My ex, people here know the story, some of them, but he was hurt. I think the reason why he became a narcissist is because he was hurt by the very first woman he was with. He was a young man, 18, 19, 17, 18, 19. He had a girlfriend, and he had a best friend. And he went off to either bad boys school or bad boys jail or somewhere, right? And he was gone. And his best friend got with his girlfriend, who he loved, I'm sure, and had a baby. Had a baby, right? And that baby, he raised that baby. That boy is however old he is. He called him his son right now today, and do things with him as if he was his son. And I believe that's where the hate came from. The hurt and the hate came from that episode right there. Now he never told me this. He still think he told me that he just say that that's his son, but that ain't his son. But he never told me where it came from. Never told me that. His sister told me that. The sister told me that. He never told me where that boy. Why you call this boy? I just thinking maybe it was somebody he was with. You know, how you meet a girl, she got a baby. That ain't how it happened. He was away in jail, and his best friend had sex with her, and created a baby, and he raised the boy. And now he did tell me that he raised the boy even when he would have it, when he would be away from him in jail or whatever. He would send him money. He saw to him his whole life. And I guess that was his way of. I don't know what that was called, but that's what they do. I don't know what that was called, but that's what he did, right? That's what he did. That is what he did. He raised that boy that was, I don't want to say ill-gotten because it was a life, but that was his girlfriend. His boy slept with his girlfriend and made a baby. And he never had kids. My ex never had kids. He never had kids. He never had kids. Never, 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 never. Now here's one that says you tense up around the gaslighter. I never tensed up. Well, I never tensed up. But what I did feel once I realized I didn't want him anymore, what I did feel was I didn't like his presence. I didn't like his energy. I don't tense up, but I just did not like his energy. I did not like his energy at all. And this was right before the period. I was like, Jackie, why is you in this shit? Put him out. You know what I'm saying? But because he had done so many wonderful things to me and helped me get this house and all the things that he had done, is why he was still in there. But then I was like, he got to go because his energy, I didn't like his energy. Yeah, that's what I said. That did it. Like I said, I'm just now learning about this QM the last couple of years since I had my YouTube channel. And the more I learn, the more I want to know. And now I feel like I'm in a good place to share because these are not the stuff I'm saying now I would not tell anybody. And I still have not sat down and had a candid conversation with any of my girlfriends about it. Not a one. Not a one. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling, I felt like, okay, I'm in a good enough mental space to tell my story and help somebody else. Reason being, like I've told y'all so many times, is my Sunday school class was full of older ladies, and they said, not this situation, but as far as my childhood and abandonment issues and stuff. They was like, you need to tell your story so you can help somebody else. So I feel with this narcissism is such a big thing and such a big deal that women need to know this, especially black women, because we done been dealing with narcissists, a lot of us, and didn't even know what it was called, because I didn't know what it was called. I just thought he was batshit crazy, right? And so he was so good to me financially, and he didn't put his hands on me, and he was so good to me financially, I thought, for shit, he'd get better. He'd be all right. You know, he going to change. He's never going to change. Narcissists never change. Even with therapy, they don't change. That's the scary part. Why? Again, I'm saying because they're demonic. That's why. You know what I'm saying? So, somebody needs to know these things so they can be aware. Like I said, I got somebody very, very, very dear to me that's fucked up behind it. They're fucked up and they can't get right. They can't get right. They've damaged them, right? Um, I just praise God. I was just strong enough, just strong enough. You know what I'm saying? That I turned that shit around. But everybody can't do that. Everybody can't do that. And who knows? I might be damaged too. Shit, I don't know. But and or maybe I was, because I was angry the first couple of years out of the relationship. I was angry, and a couple of my girlfriends was like, "You gotta let that go. You gotta let that go." Right? But I was angry. I was angry because I felt like, and it ain't no felt like I wasted 10 years. I wasted time when I could have been with the love of my life. Somebody that was gonna love me proper, right? But that's life. Can't go back. Can't take it back. Can't go back, right? But yeah, I have to tell my story, y'all. I have to tell it, and I hope that I help somebody along the way. And if nothing else, but bring awareness to it, because narcissism is a problem. It's a problem in the black culture. It's definitely a problem. I don't know what they're doing over there in white land, but in black folks' culture, it's definitely a problem, and it's damaging. And if you're not strong, you be broken and stay broken. Just stay broken, right? I don't want that for nobody. I don't want that for us. I don't want that for us. We are prime suspects because of our nurturing nature. Yeah. And for some reason, we hold out hope for potential. You are absolutely right. Which, which is why some sisters never get out, and the narcissist knows it. Yes. Let me see. I read something yesterday that said about don't let people disrespect you, right? Don't let people disrespect you. And don't take nobody back. When you take them back, the more you take them back, and there's been some disrespectful fuck shit going on, and when you take them back, they're gonna do it again. It's gonna repeat itself, right? It's gonna repeat itself. I think you have to grow and evolve as a man or whoever the hurting person was, whether it's a man or woman. You have to grow and evolve to not hurt somebody again, not to hurt that same person again. If you didn't go do some work and then grow and get yourself better, you gonna hurt them because they know you're gonna take them back. So shit, why? Well, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna give it a little bit of time, then I'm gonna do it again because that's what my ex did. You know, that's what he did. Thank you for sharing. You're right. I understand the meaning of a narcissist now from the last couple of years. People need to know and then know the signs. Yeah, you gotta know. I'm telling you, my third book. My second book will be about, all three books are about my life. Second book is my young adulthood. That whole third book is dedicated to the relationship and the 10 years plus I spent with him. Because it's a lot that goes into that. It's a lot. And the more I learn and the more I read, the more I realize how fucked up that shit could have really been. Right? So anyway, y'all, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you're new here, subscribe. I have memberships. Get your membership because we talk about a lot of stuff in the members live on Fridays at 8 o'clock. And we're also planning a trip to Vegas, right? You don't have to be a member to go on the trip, but that's what I talk about the details because I realized I didn't want to tell our details to the world. So you get the details in the members live, right? So get your membership. They are everywhere. I'm learning about narcissistic managers. They say the workplace. I couldn't imagine working with a narcissist. Uh, Boss Lady said they are everywhere. I'm learning about narcissistic managers in the workplace and narcissistic friends. Yes. I don't have any narcissistic friends. Thank God. Hope I don't. I don't have no narcissistic friends. Not the people that's close to me that can affect me. I don't. But that workplace they say is horrible. I can't even imagine working for a narcissist. But a lot of people in the comments have told me they work around narcissists. When you go to work, you want to be happy. You want to be happy. Like I can't wait to get to work when I can see my friends. We laugh and talk and giggle. You know what I'm saying? Um, we might not like the job that we doing, or they might get on our nerves, but your friends is what help you get along and be able to work at your job, right? So I can't imagine having a narcissistic manager who gonna make your life hell. I can't even imagine that, right? So anyway, y'all, I appreciate y'all. Cash at me. I'm going through a rough patch. I need y'all. I need y'all. You know, just like I need a man and want a man, I need y'all and want y'all. So cash at me. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. All right. So cash at me when you can. You still in the QC, Jackie? What's the QC? What's the QC? Oh, the Queen City, Charlotte. Yeah, I'm in Charlotte. Yeah. I'm in Charlotte. That's what you're talking about, Charlotte. Yeah, I'm in Charlotte. So anyway, y'all, cash app me my cash app and my email. If y'all think if you want me to talk about something, put it in my email. Reach out to me. All my stuff is in the description box. My email, my Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I don't really have time for TikTok a lot of times, but you can reach me. That's my email. You can reach me. Yeah, I'm still in Charlotte. I'm still in Charlotte, so you can reach me. Okay, guys. See y'all at 8.